So hello everybody, welcome back to another live stream, and it's another one with F1 Cockpit Real Racing, F1 CRR, the Classics Championship. Just figuring out what's going on at this point. I don't think the audio is out there, hopefully it is there. But there we go, it is back. And we are here at round 11 here at the Japanese Grand Prix. It's going to be as exciting as it's ever been the whole season, as Mr. Greco, already the very first one coming out on the track at this point. And sure, we're going to see all these drivers, especially the driver's title, could well be wrapped up here at this circuit today, which is going to be a very close fight indeed between Nosebo and Chris Neifer as it stands in the Drivers' Championship. It is Chris Neifer leading the championship with 188 points to his name, along with Chris Neifer, Nosebo in second place with 164, and Searton with 135, and then No Assist and Teamless complete the top 5 in the championship with 89 and 62 points to each. So as it stands, the scenario for Chris Neifer to win the championship today, it's going to be he wins with the fastest lap. The gap is going to end up, Chris Neifer, Nosebo is going to end up with 182 points. The gap is going to be about 32 points, but even if he takes the fastest lap and finishes second, he's going to lose the championship to the 31 points lead, which is obviously not possible in the final round of the race, of the championship. It's only the second last round, so this well could be, or the scenario for Nosebo to win the championship is he wins this race with the fastest lap, scores, gets his 164 points to 190. So Chris, well, if Chris finishes second, if he finishes even more down, probably could be trouble for him. But I don't think I think he'll be okay. He'll still have the championship point lead by about 25 points. If he finishes second, he's going to end up scoring 206 points. The gap would be 24 points between the two. Chris would still be leading, and if he finishes with the fastest lap, that's going to be 207, so 25 points gap to his name. So it's going to be really exciting. Who's out on track? Rico's already out on his flying lap, and this is the highest attendance we have had in a long time. Chris Neifer in the Ferrari, really making it as interesting as possible. Maybe Ferrari here at Japan. It's going to be interesting. Nosebo, the man in the McLaren, goes white there on the outlap as well. Teamless on a flying lap in the McLaren. He's doing the best he can. Rico at the top, but I don't think he started the flying lap, finished the flying lap though. At the moment, Certain Penau in P18, obviously, and No Assist in 20. That is just the on their outlaps. The three drivers that have started their laps by now are Mr. Rico, who's in the Williams 1992 Williams, along with Teamless, and pretty much they're becoming teammates. They say there is, and Chris Neifer now begins his fastest first lap, and he goes really wide there, but still it doesn't invalidate the lap. That has to be something with the track limits there. He went really wide out of the exit of the corner, and that didn't seem to do much to him. And I think that seems to be decent enough for his lap though. Mr. Rico, where is he going to finish up in this lap? I think Kaufman finishes, but obviously that's not the case. What about Teamless? He's far away. He's invalidated his lap. Rico is going to be the very first of the drivers that complete this flying lap, 140.3, and Chris Neifer is going to be the very next one that's closer to the finish line and to the end of the lap. He's just making his way past 130R flat out there in 7th gear in the Ferrari, and he's taking it very smoothly there. Just brakes in at the 100-meter board. Just goes turn right, left, real bit of a snap of oversteer, and that's good. He's going to try and get on the straight, still sliding the rear end of the car, not just holding up out there, and he's P2. Chris Neifer definitely made some mistakes on that lap, and that is P2. Mr. Creed goes quicker than him, about 1.1 seconds. That is probably the news of the day. Chris Neifer definitely not having the lap he would have wanted, but I'm sure he's going to improve on the one ahead. But we're going to have a look at switch our focus to the other drivers, as Nosebo now currently looking like on a flying lap as well, just currently without a lap time. But how quick is he going to be able to go? And across that finish line, that is going to be 141.1. Mr. Greco still stays the quickest. Mr. Creco, remember the last time he attended a Grand Prix, he was probably making so many mistakes and in the last of the running cars. And that is very interesting, at least so far for time being though. Chris is not improving in the first sector. He's really having it disappointed. With no assist now goes P3, but no Seba only able to go 141.1. Chris and Mr. Creco still the quickest currently on pole. This probably would be his first ever pole position of the season if he manages to do so, but with certain Penna, the slowest driver third in the championship, yet to do a lap. And Mr. Creco has retired from the session, and has he put it in the wall, or he just retired thinking that this probably well could be it, and the pole could be his. This is an interesting lap from him though, but to see what's going on, he's really put in a lap, come back, and really made a great comeback. But I think for how long it's going to be though, we're only going to know that in a little bit time. Chris is not improving at all, 3 seconds down, but I think he could well just be now beginning his flying lap. On the previous one, just could have done a cool down lap. Knife Serton not improving as well in the very first sector. That is really some interest then. Noah's is improving by 86,000 of a second. No Sebo improving by 10th and a half, but that still would not be enough for pole position. But surely he needs at least 9/10 now. He's just got Clark ahead of him. That's going to be just a bit of blockage and traffic for No Sebo, but that's not going to be any problem to him. And across that finish line, that is still going to be just P2, 140.9. Mr. Creco, well, it might have cracked some kind of a code as he's just coming back and taking pole position so far. Sure, he's in a different car though. He's in a 1992 Williams car. That might be playing good to himself and to his interest, but sure, still putting it on pole is a big thing for Creco out there. He's surely giving it everything, and that is showing out there. And there we go, no assist goes quickest. That is interesting. So obviously the time is there, but that is interesting. So all the drivers that pretty much actually seem to be slow are put in the Williams 1992, which seems to be going quicker than even Creco now, who's lost his pole position, but still on the front row though. No assist, remember. Currently the driver in 4th in the driver's title with 89 points, but could well be a chance for him to improve as well, to maybe finish in the top 3 on the podium that he could take. Remember, he's taken a podium in Spa sprint race, but obviously no, I don't think he's taken it at any main Grand Prix race, but we'll get to know everything around when it comes to Grand Prix. So as it stands, obviously the McLaren 5.2 seconds. I think the Ferrari's even slow, so pretty much to just make things interesting, everybody has taken different cars to their normal days, and I think interesting to see how it goes in this so far. I think in the racing probably would be different because one lap pace is different than a full race. What about Chris then? How good is he going to be able to do? Knife for us. Noah is currently still improving by 5/10. That is a phenomenal from No assist out there. He's going to increase his pole position lead and go to the 139s. The first driver to do so. 139.952. That is some interesting and some advantage of the cars. And no, Chris Knifer finally improving and finding some better times. But Certain in the McLaren finds it pretty hard. He's currently in the pits as well. I wonder if he's just exiting the pits. Sure he is. He's going to get him out on track with some brand new tyres to his car. And no Sebo absolutely looking to improve. And Noah is improving again and again. Just these drivers, I mean, how much of a difference the cars make. Chris Knifer, the quickest man out there, is just in the Ferrari. Hasn't found it the best one there. Remember in Brazil, the first time he used that Ferrari and he didn't take pole position. And there he comes around the outside. Could have tried something around of the AI car. Look how much he's struggling on the exit of any corner. He just can't push flat out, and he comes into the pits knowing that there is not much that he can do around. So that is what we're going to see Chris Sniper do. Currently P1 in the Drivers' Championship, P4 here in the qualifying with 8 minutes to go. Terten Penna out on an outlap. I think, where is Teenless? Teenless is far behind. He's currently P20. He has no lap time on board, and he is improving as well. I think the Williams drivers are P1 and 2 at the moment. It's a Williams, a 1992 Williams, Nigel Mansell's championship winning car. P1 and P2, front row for the Williams drivers. Is Noah is going to come into the pits? I think he will. So he's well past his final lap, his fastest lap, and Shaw is going to. He's done already 3 laps on those dry tyres, and that is going to be the well and understandable lap thing to do so for the driver at the moment as it stands. And now Teenless making his way past the final corner to try and get on the power as quickly as possible. It's going to be P4. He goes quicker than Certain and Knifer. That's a phenomenal lap as well. Still far off the drivers now out there. I think Certain's Penas is struggling out there, but no, Sebo has done a decent job keeping it P3 between just after the Williams front row. That is definitely a different category, but sure, it's decent out there for him, and we'll have to see how it's going to come around till the end of the Grand Prix. As it stands, no assist with the quickest lap time of 1:39.952, still being the quickest, currently sitting in the pits with 6 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Teenless on a flying lap is not improving, at least in the first sector on his previous lap. Knifer out on an out lap. Now Certan's really going to give it everything, currently P6 and slowest of the running cars. Definitely the McLarens and the Ferraris finding it hard out there to catch the Williams car. That is obviously in a category of its own. But surely, just 5 minutes now, 5.5 minutes now remain in this qualifying session. Still a few laps though for the drivers to come out and improve. Certain improving by over 6 tenths on his previous lap time. Even if he improves by a whole second, he's only going to be P4. The top 3 are in their own race and in their own qualifying session at the moment. Despite no Sebo being in a McLaren, he's been managed to be going quick. And there goes Certain, only P5, just ahead of Chris Knifer out there. The top 3 championship protagonists, championship rivals, haven't been the best out here in the qualifying session in Japan. This is really interesting at this point as it stands. 5 minutes now remain as Noah is now out on track. The man on pole position, the man that has done the fastest and the quickest lap. And Kriko, I think, retired very early unless he crashed in the wall. I highly doubt why he would retire though, but we'll have to see what he can do as Certain now has retired as well. That is a really interesting thing. He might have crashed out there because, and yes, there is the car. Certain has put it in the wall and almost Teenless going into the back of the McLaren standard there as well. 2 retirements, 2 retirees in this qualifying session. Certain just pushing too hard. Just could have put it in the wall. Look out for everybody else out there on track as well, because they well could be in a chance of putting it in the wall. Chris Knifer not improving at all. All these drivers, obviously he's got his tyres old now. He might be pitting in when comes the pit stop, when comes the pit lane line, but there he's struggling just on the exit. How much he's struggling in the Ferrari. Just not easy to drive at all. That is definitely the advantage the top 3 have in their cars. The top 4 indeed. Sebo doesn't, but he's giving it everything. But he is not. He's invalidated his lap. And that is not going to mean nothing on this lap out there. And he's already done 3 laps on those. What about Teenless? We're looking for him to improve, and obviously that little avoidance from Certan's crashed car would have just got him out there, and could there have been, and he goes really through the gravel trap. He goes into the pit lane. That is definitely not the way to do so, but he does it in his own way. So far, this 18 minutes of short qualifying has been nothing short of a great entertainment, and I think it still shows it's an invalidated lap. But what is Sebo going to do? Is he coming in the pits? Is he not? And no assist is even improving more. And surprisingly, if you look at this car seemingly seems to be going slow, but then in the end it comes out being faster, and there wide goes no assist. But I think the track limits just seem to be different out here on this game, maybe, especially on this track here at Japan, having those green curbs What about Knifer? He's going to give it everything. He's going to perform. He's going to go through the S's now. Try and get this best. This lap the better one. He's trying out lap after lap after lap. But he's not been able to get it together. Not hold it together. So No Sebo's just ahead of Chris Knifer. Both the championship protagonists and the championship rivals out there. Giving it everything to have a look at as well. So that's going to be a 10th and a half down in the first sector for No Assist. And it doesn't even show for Chris Knifer out there. Just not really finding it good at all. And No Assist are not improving. In the middle sector out there, it showed in the final sector, in the first sector, he was improving by a lot. But I think that a bit of traffic out there and some holding out there definitely didn't play to his part. But he's now pretty much going to be it. Unless he would have pit it this lap. I don't think there's going to be a chance for him to pit this lap. To come in and then do an out lap to do the best lap out there. So the best chance for anybody out there would be Teenless still in that Williams. Currently just faster than Certain, who was trying to improve, but couldn't in the end put it in the wall. But what about Chris Knifer then? At the end of the middle sector, he's 4.5 tenths, almost for 5 tenths up on his previous lap time. That is going to be well good enough to see him in P3, but we'll see how good he's able to do that. And across that finish line, almost again the rear end just slapping out. Could have been horrible if it did so and hit the wall. That's going to be P3 for Chris Knifer after hard work and trying to fix the lap, do a better lap, and do as good as you can. And with that Ferrari car, which is not a good one to drive in 1991 or 1990 model it is, 91 I think it is, and that was definitely pretty not easy at all. And that ends up Chris Knifer currently P3. He might try and go for another one, but I think he's not going to do so. No Assist well might keep his pole position, and so will Krico, his front row start. It will be his first front row start, and I don't know how many races, but surely will be his first one in this race. His first one in this, not in this race, but indeed in this season, at least season 3. This is going to be his first front row, and No Assist might get this first pole position as well of the season. Across that finish line, he doesn't improve at 3 tenths down his previous lap time. What about Knifer? He's 15 milliseconds down in the first sector on his time. What about No Sebo though? He's fighting out Correa. He's trying to go around the outside into the 30R. Almost touches the grass there. He's really going flat out there, giving it everything. Teenless improving by 10th and a half. Could well be in a chance to try and get closer to No Sebo, who definitely needs some better timings. Well, might not improve. And No Assist hasn't taken the checkered flag, but pretty much would be it for his lap as well. Chris Knifer struggling out there as No Sebo's going to come into the pits. So will Knifer. That will be it. And don't know how, and there you go. Teenless is improving by over 3 tenths. This well could be a Williams drop 3. But he did everything in the first sector on the previous lap as well. We'll have to see how he does on this lap though. I think No Assist definitely not. He's improving indeed. At the end of the first sector, he did improve by 3.5 tenths. But I think he's improving in the first sector, but just can't hold the lap in. We'll have to see how he does at the end of the final, at the end of the middle sector. Then to get it, and there you go, Teenless improving by 3.5 tenths, almost going right there, but keeps it smooth, keeps it safe out there between there. That's going to be him just making his way past the final corner and on to almost really close to that wall as well. But across that finish line, he's not going to improve at all. And Sebo is taking the checkered flag as well. What about No Assist across that finish line? I think he's going to go even more quicker. But even if he doesn't need to worry about. He's going to take pole. No Assist, the underdog, comes in. Take pole in that Williams car. It's going to be very interesting to see how he does in the race, but over 7 tenths he takes the pole position with these cars. I think the McLaren 1991 McLaren are harder, but the Ferrari and F90 even more harder to drive. I think really phenomenal by Chris Knifer out there, still getting P3 though, about 8 tenths down on the pole position. Diamond Krico in P2, retired very early in the session, but I think he must have crashed. That's what I'm assuming, because he wouldn't have retired that early even if he had that's what he had in the session. He surely would have tried to go once more, but fantastic. Certain and only takes P3. I think the race is going to be a hell lot amazing. We'll have to see how it is. Well, Chris Neifer and no Sebo, we were prepared for that one too, but that well might not happen today. But we'll have to see how all these happens. I think all the drivers up in the top 3 make a lot of mistakes, in the top 2 at least. Chris doesn't, but surely Carrico and No Assist sometimes make a lot of mistakes. If they don't do that in the race, could well be their chance, could well be their night, could well be some happiness for them in this series, in this championship. But I think for how long, we're just going to be waiting a little bit before we begin for the race, the 50% Japanese Grand Prix race, which is going to be exceptional as well. I'm sure as exciting as the qualifying has been, the race should well be even more exciting. I hope you're enjoying all of this race around. For time being, it's phenomenal. It's a great race, great qualifying session so far with the unexpected top 2. Just never out there, but sure, today it could be the day, but I think we'll see how the race goes. As it shows, there we go, just less than 20 seconds now remain in this session, which is going to be interesting to get along. Just waiting for Carrico to load in, and that's going to be well at the beginning of the Grand Prix. Obviously not the beginning of the Grand Prix, but just a little bit less than that. Just in a little bit, we should be beginning in no time. There we go. That would be the formation lap. The top 2 in these Williams getting out. Sorry, I noticed a little noise in my microphone. Let me just fix that in a few seconds. This is only the formation lap, so let's not worry about it. We'll just pick up the race when it's 5 red lights time to go racing again. Here for the 27 laps for the Japanese Grand Prix with the unexpected top 2 in the race. In fact, the top 5 with Certain in P6 at the moment. Way down, and that probably would be his worst start. It might not be his worst start of the season, but in a long, long time that might be one. The top 2, the Williams, No Assist, and Mr. Carrico. Really could be willing to give it everything out there to bring in podiums, bring in wins. It could well be, but Chris Neifer, the man, the championship leader, he's not leading the championship without any reason. Obviously, he's got it in himself. He's got everything that it takes to win the championship. He's won it before, and sure, he's going to do everything to win it here again today in Japan as well. There you go, all the cars are now going to come up to the grid now, and Miss No Assist starting just ahead of everybody else. Out on pole position, reward would be his for the first time in this season 3 of the Classics Championship out here. As we're gonna wait for the last car to be there, so it's looking to be a 2-stopper, not a 1-stopper. Obviously, it's not gonna. It is showing at 1 stop and a 2-stopper out there as well. So it's gonna be interesting what everybody else does. But it would be very, very nice to see how everything works out there. It's gonna be 5 red lights and we go racing here in Japan, and it's going to be a good start for No Assist, but a decent start for Grieco as well. And having got off the line good was Chris Sniper. Must have got so much wheel spin into turn 1. Certan's going to lose many positions, I think. He's lost a position in P1, No Seppo currently in P5, losing all the position around the outside of Chris Sniper. Almost making contact was Teenless out there. The Williams leading 1-2-3. That is a really interesting feat to watch. No Assist still leads the race so far, and around the outside, Grieco might try and go for the move, but he's going to try and play it smooth and safe at that point. As we are trying to go back behind and have a look at Certan Penna. He's really not having a race of the week he would have wanted. The driver third in the Drivers' Championship hasn't had the start to the race he would have wanted. Starting P6 is pretty much his lowest in a long time that he's done a lap on. And there makes the whiz way past Teenless would be Chris Sniper. But knowing Teenless, he might go for a dive bomb very, very soon. But sure, the top two are smoothly so far. In with the gap half a second, and no Mr. Grieco. Chris Sniper is now going to go after them, but sure, no, Teenless is going to be giving him pressure, keeping him under pressure, not giving him any room to breathe, not giving him any to enjoy, at least for time being in the race, as it's going to be phenomenal. And around down on the inside, he's going to go for the move. Teenless is going to take that place back to himself. This is going to be surely back and forth. And if No Seppo currently staying in P5 though, but surely the top two in the championship currently P4 and P5 in the race. So Chris Sniper's chance to win the championship will not be there. It's going to be very interesting. But there goes No Assist then making the championship lead. And what is No Assist? Why is Grieco falling behind? He's been falling behind. That is interesting for him though. He's just right behind his teammate. His teammate, he indeed is it. Grieco is falling behind. I thought so. That is Teenless, and that is No Assist out there. But I think he isn't falling behind. That is just the game itself making its errors. But we're having a look at the top 4 now. With Certan currently P6. Around the outside is going to go for it. Almost making contact, but really close. And he's going to be successfully making that move. And into P5 he's going to be finally after a good fight. That would be P6 indeed, I think not P5. And No Seppo running out there in P4, and very guide goes Teenless. And that is going to be a well good of a chance for Chris Sniper to overtake him and take that place back into himself. And I think that's what I was talking about. The mistakes that need to be minimized. The mistakes that need to be less as possible, as No Seppo now makes his way past him. Teenless as well. Into P4 he's going to go. And P3 it is for Chris Sniper. The top two, 1.9 seconds. Clear of Chris Sniper is Mr. Grieco, and 7/10 ahead is No Assist from Mr. Grieco out there as well. Well, that'll be really interesting. He's leading the Grand Prix so far, and decently he's taking it smooth. And if you're having a look at the leadership, and there we go, the fastest lap it is to No Assist at the moment, 1:45.5. He could well be taking the fastest lap point as well. Chris Sniper only as quick as 1:47.9. Just not having the race you would want, not having the week you would want as current No Assist. He's been going more and more quicker out there. Sure, Chris is going to give it everything as well. He's going to try and come home in third place ahead of No Seppo, though that would be really good for Chris out there for his championship, finishing ahead of his rival and finishing ahead of No Seppo. But the championship probably could well go to the final round of the championship, which would be really interesting to see out there as well. Tina is currently now in 5th place, just ahead of Certan, who's going to give it everything to try and catch up to him, try and catch up to Teenless as quickly as he can. The gap currently is down 9/10, and could be increasing to 1 second. And the top two now really closer to each other. Grieco is catching up to No Assist. This could be a fight to watch. This could be a thing to watch. Is he going to go for it around the outside? He's going to go for it down the inside line. Mr. Grieco is going to lead the Japanese Grand Prix. Your new race leader, but sure, No Assist is not going to leave him at all. He's going to come back at him right after. But sure, the gap already increasing to 3/10. But is he going to go for it down the inside? He's going to just stay behind and not go for it so far. But on this straight, the straight onto 130R, could well be his chance. Could well be. No Assist getting back that race lead again. He's surely going to try and get that slipstream again. And Creco moves around the outside, back onto the racing line, as on to 130R. Both of them are going to go almost, they collide there. This was really close between the top two as well. Phenomenal racing so far. They're just on lap 3, and already the fight between the two has begun for the race lead. This could well be an interesting and very interesting one to watch. Surely Norris is not going to leave him at all, and Creco's going to move to the outside, to the inside line very early. Chris Knifer now gets the fastest lap. Sure, the P3 man is coming after these guys as well. This could well be interesting. I was about to say teammates, but obviously these classic cars, surely they're in the same car, but they aren't teammates, so they obviously have to be fighting for themselves and for the driver's title. And in the grass went Creco's wheels. Are going to bring no assist closer to him, and that will be very phenomenal out there as well. Now 1.8 seconds still the gap to top to no assist out there for Chris Knifer, but seemingly smooth for him. 2.7 seconds no assist. No Zebo, and then Teenless and Certain are unable to catch up to Teenless out there as well, which could well be interesting. I think Knifer's got the best seat to watch that battle ahead, but sure, no assist is not going to go down the inside and make the move just like Creco did, but sure, this could well be some interesting fighting between the two out there. So there comes now 130R, through they go. The gap is indeed increasing now. Creco seems to be a bit quicker indeed from his team, from no assist out there, out onto lap 5 these guys go. It's going to be making it really interesting. Creco now gets the fastest lap. That is interesting. That might be some feat to catch, as you're now competing with Chris Knifer, the man that has dominated the whole season, taking victory at at about 6 Grand Prix this season, despite not attending a few of them as well. Certain now makes his way past Teenless out there into P5, but sure, he's going to come back and attack him out there as well. But Sebo is kind of having an empty race and a lonely race as well. He's got a gap to catch up to, and 1.5 seconds now the gap between the top two. This is really some phenomenal job by Creco, at least so far, and as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, the victory, well, could be his. But I think it's very early in the Grand Prix to say anything, only on lap 5, and you've got to go around 27 times around the track, and they've only went about 4.5 times now for the Japanese Grand Prix. Sure, no assist took pole, but to get victory, you need to be perfect. The gap now increasing even more, 2.2 seconds. But still, this seems to be decent enough. Teenless still very close to Certain, but he's not going to go for the move, but he's just not close enough to make a move for time being, or maybe on the straight. Certain going a little wide out there, and now getting up Sebo. They're getting up to no Sebo out there as well, and Creco improving again and again, just trying to get better and better out there, as now that's going to be still even on the straights. It's not that easy to catch up to the top as well, as across that finish line into lap 6. Creco's going to go even more quicker. Norris is going to improve on his previous lap time, but not go fastest. And phenomenal. Chris is only able to improve by 0.005 of a second on his previous lap time. Surely with the cars that make the difference, the setups that make the difference, the drivers that make the difference, is going to bring it P1, 2 and 3. It's phenomenal as it stands for time being out there, lap 6 of 23. A little slide out there on the exit for Creco, but I think that's not going to do much to his lap time though, to his race though. 1.9 seconds. They got P2 out there. The gap is increasing again, but no assist now improving as well. This is going to be really important, and this is going to be a great battle we need. The battle for the race leads that we've been waiting for. The battle for the performance we've been waiting for. Really amazing. All around the top, all of the 6 drivers that are currently in the race are going really smooth, and pretty much the gaps still staying close, still staying Really close indeed. Considering Chris Nyford, remember, took pole back on round 10 as well. It wasn't broadcasted, but he took victories in the previous races, and then he took pole in Spain as well, but the victory was no Sebo's. But sure, both of them currently P4 and P3 and 4, unable to catch up. Surely that switch up between cars is bringing up some light to the race. But still, even now, Carrico over 3 seconds now quicker. He goes even more quicker. 141.7 from Carrico at the end of the line, and 142.3. Surely, Chris is going to be able to see the top two, but not get closer to him at all. Surely the battle that could be getting closer. Almost every driver is in the race of their own, but sure, the gap between P4 and 5 and 6 is over just a second, and it increases at corner to corner. Then the gap to No Sebo from Noah Certain is 2.3 seconds as well. Really smoothly performed between all these 6 drivers out there. Only on lap 7 out there of 27. There goes a little bit of a problem maybe for Mr. Carrico on the exit. That could well bring Noah to closer to him. Remember that move that Carrico made for the race lead that we captured down the inside. A dive bomb he made, but sure, that has been smooth so far. He's lived up to the expectation. Sure, he took P2, but taking the race lead on lap 1 and kept it to himself ever since, and got the gap to 2.2 seconds as well. So far so good for the race leader. Trolley going nice now. Notice not improving. I don't think Carrico improved as well, but sure, he's got a great lap. The gap now again increasing to 2.3 seconds. As on to lap 8 we go. Chris Nyford, I think I never thought the day would come where Mr. Carrico and Gnosis would be leading a Grand Prix in the top 2, and Chris Nyford struggling to keep that car out on track. Throughout qualifying we saw that. He had many slides. This car just simulates, if you go to push, it's going to give you some oversteer. The rear end's going to step out. No Sebo, the previous Grand Prix winner at the Spanish Grand Prix, which obviously wasn't broadcasted, but sure, this Japanese Grand Prix is. And the title fight as it stands. So, so Chris Nyford at the moment with 188 points. He would be gaining about 15 points, so that's going to be 2 or 3 points for him, with No Sebo gaining about 12 points, so that will be 76 points to him. So the championship lead is obviously going to stay Chris Nyford's so far, and make it interesting as it is. And also No Assist has a good chance to finish the championship on high, as I'm being told. This will be his last race in the championship before he leaves for another commitment to fill on Tuesday, which is going to be obviously the final, round 12 and final of this championship, which is going to be exceptional as well, I'm sure, out there. As on lap 9 now it is, into lap 9 they get leaders go. 2.8 seconds the gap still. I think so far these drivers are taking it smooth. All of them, no mistakes. There should not many mistakes from anyone out there. That is a really impressive feat as well now. I think Certain just a little slower than Sebo. Sebo's giving it everything, but obviously in his class, I think his car just doesn't seem to be performing as compared to Chris's. You know, Chris is in a Ferrari, but he still is very quicker than Sebo is. So, but surely the problem is that Williams car. I mean, obviously the drivers have to do something, as Thielen is currently P6 and in that same car as well. But the top 2 are in their league in their own class of their own, performing it to spec, performing it to the times. So as it stands, if Mr. Carrico, he's actually not in our timing, in our data of the top 5 in the championship, because he is not in the top 5 in the championship. He's in P6 in the championship with, I will have to just check in how many points though, but we'll just check that in a second. This well could be, he well actually could pick the best result of the whole season from one race. Yes, he's currently in 7th in the championship and has about 4 points, only 4 points for P8 at the United States Grand Prix that he finished. P8 in the championship and only 4 points. He would probably take 4, 5, 6, 7x of the championship points he has. Also, Noah is currently in 4th place though. If he's taking 2nd place, he's gonna make some progress as well in the championship, making it about. He's still gonna stay 4th in the championship though, but he's gonna bring up some good points and make it 100 plus points and be the 4th driver that has scored over 100 points over the 11 rounds of the championship. But only the 4.9 seconds. The gap is even seeming to be increased and increased. Now Steamless has fallen behind as well. Could well be some good performance. I think Chris Knifer still 1.8 seconds though. The thing is that surely Gnosis is falling behind, but it's not falling on Chris's time. 1.7 seconds though. He's gaining a little bit on him now, but I think maybe Gnosis's tires are going off just a lap time, lap 9, and he well could be in a chance to try and pit for the 2-stopper maybe. I don't think it's pretty much going to be this, the pit window for a 1-stopper though, because then in the end if you pit at lap 11, at the end of lap 10 could well be, I don't think you could do so 17 laps, but I think it would be just too early on these tires to be pitting and to getting them home, though we'll see how they stay though, having Krista Krikov still leading the Japanese Grand Prix. The man might have not led many Grand Prix before, but has led the first 10 laps of the Japanese Grand Prix, his highest start in a long time in P2, and maybe for the first time. And surely Mr. Kriko is going to be making his way past one more lap around the track and on to lap 11, leading the Grand Prix 3.8 seconds. The gap has came back a little down. That's what I was talking about, that surely Mr. Gnosis is losing time to Kriko over 4 seconds or 3 point some seconds, but it's not losing to Chris Knifer at all, at least for the time being. The gap still says 1.6 seconds though, but Chris well could be getting closer to him, and the Kriko's pace seems to be unmatched there. There is a yellow flag. Who is it going to be? Okay, none of the drivers from our race, and it is Lucas Roth who's going to be really spun out there, and just after the leaders have met their way past them though, so it's pretty smooth, but the likes of Teamless and Zerton might get stuck there. And there you go, the battle we would have been waiting for and we would have wanted. Surely no assist is Chris is getting closer to no assist, and Zerton's getting closer to no Sebo. The race is just coming alive. 2 battles for 2 different positions. This could well be an amazing battle now. No assist, definitely his tires not holding up much more than 10 laps in the Grand Prix at the start of the race. It's so much more pace, but then after he didn't seem to have much, and now it's going to be on lap 5. No, Certain Penna out there, just right behind No Sebo, try and fight for that 4th position on the grid. Currently, just half a second the gap it is, just a little more than half a second, but surely that half a second well might be enough for him to take the race lead. Not the race lead, but sorry, 4th place in this race so far, and that could well be bad for No Sebo, because obviously he wants to be as closer as he can to Chris Knifer, but he is not, and very wide goes Certain there. That would have been horrendous if he came out in the wrong way, but sure, he's going smooth so far, and Certain has now received the penalty, and I think no way with this car he's putting away over 3 seconds of Chris Knifer, No Sebo, which could well mean P4, 5 could well be his, but I think obviously out on track you can fight for everything, and surely he's going to do the same as well. Through the S's, they're going to make their way, but who's going to be the quicker one? Who's going to trust their car? Both in the exact same machinery, in the McLarens though. There are 90 McLarens, which are quite easy to drive, but I think the 92 Williams is even better out. And excuse me, there you go. We are out on now onto the racetrack. Once obviously we're out on the racetrack now. This is really close. Any closer battle we've had. Surely Gnosis was losing some time to Chris, but he's gained it back on 1.6 seconds. Now there well could be a chance on the inside for Chris. For a certain Penna out there. He's going to give it everything. Both of them are going will to will. They almost collide indeed, making a little bit of a contact. No, Sebo in the end has to give up on the position. So that well could be more points for Chris in the championship. But as it stands, it's not many, but around the outside into 130. Who's going to be the bravest one? And it will be Gnosis, but he's going to come back where he was. He's going to go back out on track. He's going to come back out on track, and he concedes the position back to Zerton, having run very wide on the exit of 130. Frank is the car, and then he has to keep up to the Zerton Penna as more easy moves, and there opens the pit window for one-stop strategy on lap 13 now. But who are we going to see pitting? No Seb, but no assist. Actually the gap now 2.4 seconds. Kariko falling on behind a little bit as well, but 1.4 seconds the gap between No Assist and Chris Sniper out there. But these two are going to give it their all. Captain Teenless becomes the first pit stop of our race. And No Certain Bennett just making his way past many AI cars. Doing a decent enough job to get himself into P4. 9.7 seconds the gap to Chris Sniper. A lot of too much gap though. But now 1.6 seconds the gap is again decreasing after it had increased a little bit, and now because only it's just getting closer between the top three again once again. It would be phenomenal, and we are indeed just about at the halfway mark of the race. It's lap 13 out of 27 out there. Rico 1.4 seconds slower. Then is fine. Then is fastest lap. Obviously, his fastest lap is very quick. And what about him now? Is he going to pit? Al Williams, obviously, they're in different teams, so the pit walks won't be same. But he doesn't pit. No assist pits. His tires were cooked. Both of them do pit indeed. No assist pits. So does Krico as well. Both of them pit out there. So definitely, they need a good stop from their respective teams. Krico's pit box is far up the road. Then No Assist, so shortly before he gets his tires on, Certain Penna into the pits as well, and I think No Sebo might have stayed out. Yes, he will stay out. Now there he comes. Certain, No Assist and Krico having the race lead out there, having the pit stops and brand new tires. Krico's going to try and be as quick as he can on these tires, and almost going very wide on the grass there. That would have been really horrendous for him if he ended up getting out of the Grand Prix though. Not sure Certain got a 3-second penalty, so that's just he's just made life difficult for himself as it stands though. We'll see how is this going to stand as it is now 12 second the gap to the race leader. I think Chris Sniper still staying out, pretty much doing the best he can do, maybe doing something by staying out on track, overcut these drivers, because for undercut we cannot do that. He's already been undercut by the leaders, and I think pretty much however how the pace is, they are just not looking like to be his race though. But sure, they are doing their best. 4.5 seconds again even from the pit stop. Krico might have gained something in there as well, and that is definitely helping him out there. Teenless making some purple sectors out there, but there you go. Is Chris going to be able, is he going to be pitting now on this lap, on lap 14 for a pit stop into the pits? Yes, he will. What about No Sebo though, who along with Chris stayed out on the previous lap to push another lap on these dry tyres that have done about 13 laps to them themselves on these dry tyre, and No Sebo is going to come in as well. So that will be new tyres and brand new tyres to Chris Sniper, who's just on the pit exit, but Mr. Krico's just making his way back and on that pit straight. He's going to be really close. Not close enough for him, but surely Chris Sniper might have overcut No Assist, and he has overcut No Assist in the pits, but surely he's going to try and make his way around the outside. Will No Assist in there? 5.1 seconds. the gap to the leaders, and now the fight, definitely the gap was really close before the pit stop, and Chris Neifer, by staying a little out a little longer, has helped. That has definitely helped him, and he's going to go into second place. Could well be, the race could well be the chance out there, and could be a thing for him now to win the Grand Prix. But obviously 4.5 seconds the gap to the race leader still. Rico's doing a phenomenal job on these new tyres, giving it everything. The gap only 7/10 though. I think no assist could well have a chance as his tyres get temperatures in them. Obviously you exit the pits, the tyres are very cold. The tyres are really cold, and when these tyres are cold, almost going into the back of a lapped car there. That would have been horrendous accident for no assist after driving such a good race since the beginning of the race in this Williams. And there's a yellow flag, and Teenless is retired from the Grand Prix. Could well be really, really interesting to see where the yellow flag is, and it's a virtual safety car. That's a virtual safety car, and I think Chris Neifer is going to like that. Maybe he's got a chance to get closer, and he's got a very big chance to get closer to Rico now. And once Chris is through, that will not be the case, and Teenless putting it in the wall, causing a virtual safety car, could well be against Rico out there, because surely while racing hard, racing good, he would have wanted to keep his lead and increase it again and again. But definitely that's going to help Chris a little bit, try and gain maybe a little bit under that virtual safety car. If you are staying under the delta, this could well be against Rico. But we'll see how long this virtual safety car is going to stay on though. We're already on lap 16, and No Sebo receives a drive-through penalty, speeding under VSC, and No Sebo's race could well be over, and could well be the title hopes for him as well. As it stands, Chris Neifer hasn't got the fastest lap, but he's still going to end up in second place, scoring about 15 points, and that's going to put him in 206 points to his lead, and with Chris 206 points, and No Sebo currently in 5th place, so that's going to be just 10 points to his time, so that's going to be 174. The lead could well be a lot, and that could actually will be that will indeed be over 30 points, and the title could be over. That title could be Chris's if he manages to finish in second place, and No Sebo only finishes in P5. That could well be horrendous though, but sure, we'll see how it stands. Rico has driven a fantastic race, and it already goes lap 16 out to 27 there, now into 27 lap 27. Rico will be going 3.3 seconds the gap between the race leader and P2. Surely they're doing the fantastic job they can, and I think Rico, surely every other day, he doesn't really seem to be the best. Remember, he's only attended a few races this season, and his best has been P8 at the first round in the United States Grand Prix. But today and this weekend, he took P2 in the race. He took P2 in qualifying, and P1 so far led the every single lap since lap 1. Since he made that move, he's led every lap. Obviously not every lap though, because since the pit stop, but obviously after the pits and before the pit stops, he's leading laps and laps. Now got 2.8 seconds. Chris might be increasing the gap on Rico. The gap is rapidly decreasing. That will be Chris's car now. Chris car the pit stop. He might have just remembered about the championship then. Before earlier, he seemed to be pretty slow. He was trying to catch up to no assist, but not seem to be that quick. I think Mr. Rico, anywhere he finishes inside the top 3 would be a big result for him out there. And No Sebo now 1.2 seconds to certain. This is a very good battle to look out to as well, as now both of them get past the lapped car out there. For P4, it's going to be as interesting as it gets. So much traffic now. Rico has to make his way through, but he's going to do everything out there. And now the gap, just 4/10, the gap between the two, Certain Pena and No Sebo. No Sebo currently 4th in the championship, 2nd in the championship, Certain 3rd in the championship. Certain really needs P4 But anyway, Sebo at the moment needs P4 a lot, because surely to keep his championship hope alive, I don't think he's gonna win the championship anyways if he finishes 4th, and Chris finishes first. But in the pits come no Sebo. That well could, and he's got a drive-through penalty. That was I was about to say. Finishes, does no Sebo into the pits, preparing that drive to the penalty. They got now 16 seconds, and it's going to even increase even more. Now the top 2, the pressure on Grieco's shoulder. How long is he going to live up to that? Is he going to be able to live up to that pressure? Is he going to be able to handle that pressure of a race win, of a race lead, and of a champion driver? Is he going to be able to do that? Because surely he has driven a phenomenal race up until now, but he would like to take the lead, take the victory as well. The gap is still staying about 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds, lap after lap. But I think a mistake here would be vital. And there goes Chris into the back of a lapped car. That is some BS for Chris, and he's not going to like it. But Grieco's going to love it, because he obviously needs some interesting fight. And now, after that contact with the AI car, that is giving some extra, that is giving some excellent chance for no assist to get closer to Chris Sniper. And the 1-2 that was running before, Mr. Grieco and no assist, could well be on. Chris goes on the inside line to defend and comes back on the racing line to squeeze him a little, but that's not going to be enough. He's going to take back 2nd place, but sure, no assist around the outside. Carries on the Chris on the inside, and certain, and Chris Sniper has made contact with no assist. That was some tap and some on the side pot of Chris Sniper, and he's going to lose many positions out there into P3. He's not going to lose positions, in fact, he's going to still stay in P3, but that tap to Chris's car is going to be to some extent. That contact could well get a penalty to no assist. We'll have to see how it stands though, but just pushing him wide, and that I think on the exit, no assist would have been on his line, but obviously Chris has to be a bit cautious. But how much more cautious though? He's obviously, he's got nowhere to go. Going 2 into 1 at those S's. The gap now 2.9 seconds. Mr. Grieco, so far so good till in this race. So good for him though. There we go, we're just back out there, just got a tissue, but anyways, the gap now increased, and in fact had decreased now 5.1 seconds to 5.2. Chris Sniper, I think, really would be, really won't be happy about it, that contact. Surely P2 could have been the best today, but that will be P3, that would have been his best, but I think surely, even if Gnosis was faster, he could have done it in a better way. Surely he was going to overtake him, if not now, at any other corner. But I think there comes competition, comes some circumstances as well. The gap now decreasing between the top 2, 4.9 seconds, no Sebo. No assist is giving it everything out there to try and get the race lead back, to try and get a victory out here. Obviously both these drivers have never won in the Classics Championship before in Season 3. In the first 10 rounds, they haven't been able to finish it even inside the top 3. For at least Mr. Grieco though, has only attended 2 or 3 races so far this season. So obviously, but I think he's gonna get all of it worth it if he manages to get a victory and finish up P1 here today. Everything would be double worth it for him. And I think that's going to be interesting. With now not many laps remaining. We're on lap 20 out of 27. We're getting towards the end of the Grand Prix. Still many laps to go though. Still, he's got to handle the pressure. He's got to handle things around. Oh, now Certain's increasing the gap to Chris Sniper, 4.8 seconds. And I think that is going to be 4.9 seconds. And No Sebo really wants the grit to finish behind those. Saracens got the penalty though. I highly doubt that he's going to be able to get on the podium around that, but not much of a gap. 4.5 seconds. The gap between the top two is decreases lap after lap. 3.1 seconds now. It was over 6 seconds. 6 seconds a little bit ago, a little while ago, but on lap 21 now. 1.8 seconds the gap. Surely no assist is giving it his all. He's fantastically throwing his car. I think, no, obviously Krieger's got the fastest lap of 141.1, but that was in the first stint. In the second stint, no Sebo. Sorry, no assist. It seems to be out there. Apologies for the names. They kind of have like similar names, like no, yes, and stuff. Some of them, so it's harder to get. But the gap might be within 1.5 seconds. Could well be interesting to see. Still 1.8 seconds, 1.6 seconds now. Could well be a chance. No assist, whose lead was taken by Kriko by a dive bomb at that very hairpin that was. But sure is performing. Chris Sniper, who was fighting with no assist for P2, was with the contact he made in the end ended up costing him P2 in this race. I think unless he makes a huge mistake, there's no assist, no chance Chris Sniper is going to make up those 8.2 seconds. The gap is now the top two still making it greatly, and now no assist seems to be gaining time and time again. Only 41 hundredths down, and I think we'll have to see how fast these drivers go till the end of the gap. That gap now only 1 second. The fight for the race lead well could be in, as it's 1:43.2 for him and 1:41.6 for no assist. He even improves on his fastest lap time, and Kriko in the second stint just doesn't have the pace, doesn't seem to be any quicker. Surely he gains 3/10 though on the edge of that final corner. The gap before that was 1 second, but sure, the fight, the performance, and he's going to do everything it takes for him to do the best he can. Now as it stands, at 1.2 seconds, the gap is going to be, the heartbeat of Kriko is going to increase every lap after lap. The heartbeat, the pressure, everything's going to be interesting. And he goes 2 and almost 3/10 quicker in the first sector, and he really needs that. He really needs to increase the pace now, because if he does not do so, could well lose late lead and that race victory. I think he's really he hasn't pretty much dominated like Chris Sniper does usually on days where he wins by over 20 seconds each race, but surely today he's done it. And I think for Kriko to even finish win by a second or win by just half a second would be everything out there. We'll have to see how things end up around these drivers. Now lap 22, and Chris Sniper now receives the penalty as well, so this could well be a big chance. I think at the moment 4.5 seconds, so Certain has the penalty, so that doesn't mean anything out there though. But if Certain now overtakes Chris out on track, P3 could be his. Still a long way to go in this race. Not too long though, but still. Lap 23 starts now. Lap 22 becomes 23 now. As they get across the line, the gap is now increasing. 2.3 seconds. This is what I said. Kriko needs to improve. Kriko needs to get better and better. If he can't, he was going to lose the race lead, rightly so. But sure, he's doing a fantastic 2.2 seconds. He's increasing the gap. And I think it's going to be phenomenal, even for both of these drivers. I think no assist has been at every single race, has been maximizing any points that he can get according to his pace. And surely that of the race, which is going to be not much for him out there as he's crashed out. If he gets the 5. down to 1 second now. That is really interesting. Just as we get towards the ending, very end of the Grand Prix, with now the laps on to lap 24 it is. Well, could be big chances for Mr. Carrico. That could be interesting to see how all things plan out. But I think any of these drivers taking victory would be phenomenal though. We'll see how it stands for anybody out there. And in the championship as it stands, Sebel's going to bring up 10 points, which would be about 174. And Chris is going to bring up, and there we go. There goes these guys. And this time, once again, the lead that was taken from no assist. He could well take it back at the exact same hairpin corner. He doesn't do so, but on the exit, he's going to try and go very quicker at the moment. This is a very crucial corner for no assist for Carrico, these last few corners, because on the exit, if the gap stays less than half a second, whilst the slipstream could well be enough for no assist to take the race lead to his name, as we're almost now coming at the end of lap 24. This could well be big pressure. The pressure that was on the shoulders, on the heart, is going to come on the shoulders now, and on the mind as well. Now this is the gap. This is the gap, the closest we've had in the second stint between the top two so far. And no assist could well have the Grand Prix lead going into lap 25. It's going to be around the outside, but is he going to go for it? Remember, he made contact with Chris Neifer, and if he's proven guilty in that, he could well end up being outside the victory, because if he receives a penalty for that, that could well be, but I think definitely that will be reviewed after the race. As it stands, we're again focused on these guys now. This time, the well could be the chance of an overtake at this very hairpin, or he could even do it even before on lap 25 now. Notice is taking it smoothly, very smoothly. He's taking it to try and get it as precise as possible. Obviously, he doesn't want to be taking the race lead and giving it back. But this time, is he going to go on the inside? He doesn't, stays behind. But I think that could well be the chance. The gap now again to Chris Neifer, going back to 4.2 seconds. But I don't think Certan's making that much till the end of the Grand Prix, just within the laps that are remaining now. But this is the turning, and I think surely some races have been better. The sprint fight between the third and final sprint between Certan and Gnosis was Chris Neifer was good as well, but this well might have to be the race of the season here in round 11. Unfortunately, we weren't there to witness round 10 in Spain, which could have been even better, and almost going into the back of Mr. Carrico does no assist. That could have ended up horrible, and that has ended up horrible now. That is front wing damage for no assist, going into the back of the race later, and I think all progress could be undone now. On lap 26 they go. Sure, he's going to try and be quicker, but without a front wing end plate, could be very life could be very difficult for no assist there, and that would well be. And I think Carrico's victory, as far as the race lead is concerned, is going to stay his for the time being. If he doesn't make any mistake, if he rightfully does deservingly take the car home to victory, he's going to do it. But surely, as it stands, it's going to be P1 around the outside. He goes 2.6 seconds the gap though, but we'll have to see how it stands. And I was talking about also the championship. Chris Neifer currently staying in P3 at the moment in this race so far. No Servo back in P5. As it stands, it's going to be 206 points for Chris 15 points indeed. So that is going to be about 203 points from Chris Neifer, and that is going to be 29 points if even Certan's no Servo's finishing there. So the championship, as it stands in the race, could well be Chris's. And now 3.5 seconds the gap. That would have been music. I think bumping into back of Carrico, that could have ended up horribly for him as well. But glad that he didn't have any damage or problems Now there comes Mr. Chris Knifer. He's got one more lap to go to victory for the history of the whole season. Only attending 3 races this season so far, and winning one of them could well be your highlight of the whole season. Any victory would be a highlight, but despite only attending a few races and still coming out victorious, surely the car must have had the parts in to do so as well. But considering no assist, and Captain Tilas had the same car as well, they weren't able to do anything. Chris Knifer trying his 100% best, but he just, I don't think he can get the best though. As having a look at the tyres, obviously everybody pitted fastest lap. Fastest lap is to no assist at the moment, but surely, so that extra lead, extra point is not going to go to Mr. Grigo's race, but he doesn't care about that. He's going to let Gnosis have that. The man who started on pole is currently staying in second place. The man who started in second place, his first front row start since forever, is probably going to come. That dream of a victory, that dream of finishing number one day amongst all these talented drivers is going to come home today for Mr. Grieco, as he's just got the one more famous 130R to go on lap 27 out of 27. Along the straight, he's making his way. He's surely going to go flat out through there, just not flat enough in 6th gear, and he's just got a few more corners to go. He's going to make history. He comes home to just coming across the final corner and win the Japanese Grand Prix, does Mr. Grieco, and that is exceptional. And that's going to be, I think, a mistake from no assist, starting on pole position, ending up finishing in second place as well. Great race so far, and that is going to be Chris Knifer and Mr. Certain Penna really close to each other. Is he going to go for that move on that very final lap and final corner? Chris Knifer finishing in 3rd place. In the end, Sayers in 4th, and No Sebo currently in 5th place. That means Chris Knifer is going to sum up the championship and he's going to win the title one more time. He's done it before and he's going to do it again. It's only going to be P3, which I think might be his worst result of the season on the races that he's attended. I'm not sure though, but that is phenomenal. That is going to be race victory for Mr. Grieco. He's got the dreams of victory completed today. He's got some accomplishments today. Before today, since Monza, he did not attend a race, and the one he attends, he's going to take victory. That is the man. That is the trophy out on screen. There is the podium celebrations from everybody. But fantastic. Mr. Grieco does everything he can to bring it home for himself. And Chris Knifer, actually, it is his worst finish of the season. He did not attend 2 races from the 11 that have happened, but still leading the driver's title and winning the Grand Prix, and that is probably pretty much going to be his race win, the championship win as well, leading the driver's title by 29 points as well. That's going to be exceptional performance now from the top 3, and everybody out there has done exceptional job and really end up performing the way all of these are, and that's interesting to do so. I just have to confirm if there will be interviews out there, but we'll have to see how it stands. It's going to be exceptional out there to see how everything works. Fantastic for everybody around. This is phenomenal as well. We'll have to just confirm this was probably the best race of the season. The top 3 in the race did a phenomenal job, and that probably Mr. Grieco's victory is going to stay his highlight in a long time in the championship. It is going to be the drivers' title over, and surely it's going to be some interviews as well with all the drivers that have done a great job to finish the race out there. Hello, hello.
Yeah, hello, Zabi.
Hey, man.
Here we are.
Fantastic. Was Krico here?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, fantastic victory out there. What a turnaround for you. Just P14, if I remember the last race you attended, and a victory to back it up.
Yeah, Suzuki is a track that's always been good for me, so I'm not so surprised like you guys.
Surely we all of us are really, because obviously we haven't seen you at the top in a long time, but sure it must feel great to get a victory, top it off the season.
Yeah, it's perfect before the next season.
Absolutely amazing. Any last words for you?
Let's start the next season the same like I ended this one.
That's fantastic. That'll be it, and if I'm not wrong, no assist, finishing second in there. Is he there?
Alessà,
Gattinto.
sei qui? Ci
Yeah,
sei?
I will translate for him. I will translate.
Surely.
Fammi,
Okay.
Vai.
Qual è la domanda? Qual è?
Yeah, ancora
Zabi,
arriva.
Ah, ecco.
So no assist, fantastic there in qualifying, but just race didn't go your way in the end.
è stata una fantastica gara e per te hai vinto insomma questa gara, anche e soprattutto la qualifica.
No, è stata una fantastica qualifica, però in gara ti sei un po' trattenuto. Diciamo.
Ok, fai tu, mi sento male. Vai.
Allora sì, praticamente Crico aveva un passo migliore del mio, anche se
Krico had a better pace, but slightly better.
e credo che a un certo punto lui abbia rotto l'ala, abbia rotto qualcosa, perché sono andato a riprenderlo,
I believe at a certain
però
point he had some damage because I was catching easily, but
Also,
c'è stata una incomprensione all'ultima chicane e l'ho tamponato e ho perso la
there was
chance.
some misunderstanding on the last chicane, and I bumped into him, and that's it for me.
Voglio ringraziare voglio ringraziare chi ha organizzato questo campionato, che è difficilissimo, per me è stato molto difficile e niente, è la terza volta che lo facciamo, questa è l'ultima gara e sono stato molto contento di partecipare. Tutto qua. Grazie.
Okay, I want to thank everybody and all the organization for this beautiful classic championship.
fantastic. So now Chris Snifer, the man, taking up the, if I get my calculations right, you get the championship lead by 29 points, which ends up making you the champion with one race still to go in the championship. How does that feel?
Yeah, exactly. It feels like, yeah, I'm the champion. Like, it's 29 points, and also I think this was the last race, if I'm not wrong, and because the next one is cancelled. Yeah, be the fastest driver of this type of car is always a satisfaction. Like in this car, there's not traction control. There's no electric. It's all mechanic and no DRS, no battery. It's all with hands and pedals. it's incredible to be here at the top today, and yeah, I want to also thank you Zabi and all the staff for this championship. That's all for me. The car was the Ferrari. I couldn't do anything much than what I've done. The podium was the best thing that could ever happen to me tonight. So this is it. Thank you, Zabi.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone around, and that pretty much be it.
All right, Zabi, thank you also for your support and great effort.
Thanks, man.
Commentary. Thank you.
Thank you. So that pretty much, we saw all the drivers